Hello bookworms, I'm Becca, and this is going to be the first round, kind of, in a new series that I'm trying out called #Clear the Shelves. This idea is inspired by my teacher life on Twitter. Sometimes throughout the year, teachers will post their Amazon wish lists with the hashtag Clear the Lists. So I was thinking of a new series that I wanted to try in 2020 to really focus on my TBR shelf, because if you guys don't know, the majority of the books I have on my shelves are unread, and I really want to focus on getting some of them read. So I came up with the idea of doing this #Clear the Shelves challenge. 1 week each month I am going to pick a prompt out of a jar and read as many books from my shelf that fit the prompt in a week. But first, I want to go over some stats. Now, I gathered all these stats in January when I did the first round, and it wasn't very successful. It was kind of a failed round. I only read 2 books. I didn't really know how I wanted to do this series, and I didn't vlog it very well either. So I'm hoping that this round goes a lot better and I just do better with the vlogging. So at the time of gathering the stats, the number of the books I had on my shelf was 267 books. Of those 267 books, I have only read 99 of them, which means that I have only read 37% of my own books. And that is not a lot. So I really want to focus on reading more books from my bookshelf, and I can't wait to see how the data changes at the end of next year. So before I pick this prompt out, I will say that in January, I picked out a prompt, and I should have known the second I picked it out that it wasn't going to go well, because the very first prompt that I picked was to read the lowest rated books on my shelves. So right away, not going to be great. I read a total of 2 books. I read 1 thriller that was god-awful, and then I read a YA called Hot Dog Girl, and it was okay. I vlogged more when I read the YA thriller because I was ranting about it, and I just didn't end up posting that footage because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. So now here I am. I'm going to shake up my jar and pick out my prompt for February. Alright, and my prompt is to read books with POC authors, person of color authors. So that is going to be so good. I have so many books on my shelf that fit this. I don't even know what to start with. You know what? I think that I might want to start with this one that's front and center on my shelf, with The Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I read The Poet X, and it wasn't my favorite, but this book is honestly one of the most gorgeous books that I have on my shelf, so I think I'm going to start with this. I have a long weekend, a nice 4-day weekend, so I'm going to try to read as much as I can in those 4 days and then carry it on through the rest of the week until next Saturday. I'm going to try to vlog along the way. I really hope this goes better than last time because I'm excited about this series, you guys. So here's the first book that I'm starting with, and let's see how the rest of the week goes. Hey guys, it is now 8:30 at night, and I am about 60 pages into With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I am enjoying it right now, but it's not the best book that I've ever read, and I have some issues with the writing, but overall I think I'm gonna keep at it because it seems to be a pretty quick read. I just am not feeling well at all today, so I haven't been reading much. I've been kind of just laying around, and then I went to Target and got a whole bunch of face masks, so I came home and took my makeup off, and I think I'm going to do this lavender relaxing mud mask enriched with lavender oil and seaweed extract. I love a face mask, especially a relaxing one, So hopefully that will make me feel a little bit better. I haven't really been able to eat much in the past couple of days, but then I remembered I have a bunch of popsicles in my freezer. So I might try to have a popsicle, and I want to keep reading because while I haven't been reading the book, I've been thinking about it a lot. So I think that's a pretty good sign. And I want to try to get it done today because I have some other books on my list that I would really like to get to in this weekend and focus on. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my self-care on and maybe have popsicle and just relax and get some more reading in tonight. Good morning. It is the next day, and I'm going to be quite honest, I did not read at all last night after I did my face mask. I was waiting for it to dry because it was a mud mask, and I put on the next season of a show that I've been watching with the other teachers at work that we are obsessed with, and I watched like 4 episodes of that and then passed out at midnight. So, Luna's here. She wants to talk. But I'm feeling much better today, I will say. I'm living for this long weekend that I have. It's only Sunday, but I think it just is making me happy to know that I still have 2 more days to chill out. So I am maybe going to have some breakfast. I want some like peanut butter toast or something. And then I am going to finish With the Fire on High so that I can move on to some other books. I'm excited for this day. Let's get reading. Hey guys, happy Sunday. I just wanted to pop in and give a little update because I finished With the Fire on High just now by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I wanted to talk to you guys about my thoughts. So I started reading this yesterday and I read a good chunk of it, and then I finished it up today. I will say that when I first got into it, I was not loving it, and I was kind of nervous about what my final thoughts would be, especially because I didn't love the Poet X. And I will say that after finishing this book, I did enjoy it a lot more than I enjoyed the Poet X. In the beginning of this book, I was not really clicking with the writing, but by the end, I enjoyed the writing and I thought the characters were really relatable and the story was very relatable as well. Elizabeth Acevedo has a wonderful style of writing, but sometimes I have a hard time clicking with it. So I think that it took me a while to get into the groove of the story, but once the plot started developing, I had a much better time with this book. I just keep looking at the cover because this is so stunning, and I have the dust jacket down here. Maybe I should put the dust jacket on. There we go. I mean, the dust jacket is just as beautiful. One of the things that I really enjoyed about this book is all of the nods to Hispanic culture and cooking. My husband is Hispanic and he likes to cook, so I feel like I could relate to him in a different way, and I will be passing this on to him to read, and I know that he will love it. He really enjoyed the Poet X, so I am interested to see what he thinks of With the Fire on High. This is the first book that I read where the main character was a teen parent, and I thought that was a fresh perspective that we don't often get in young adult, but it obviously is happening, so I thought that was really good. It was just a really nice, well-rounded coming-of-age story about a girl trying to figure out what she's going to do with her life. All of the characters were nice and supportive, and it wasn't like a typical YA book where you have a best friend and the conflict is usually a fight with a best friend or a family member or something like that. Like, the main conflict was just trying to figure out what she wanted to do with her life and like juggling everything as well as being a teen parent. So I just thought that that was really unique to read about. I ended up giving this book 4 stars, and I think that that's just because I didn't love the writing style the whole time, even though by the end I really enjoyed it. So I think if I would have been completely sucked into the story from the beginning, this easily would have been a 5-star, but it's more like 4.5 stars. I liked a lot of things about this book. It's broken up into 3 parts, and I decided to go with Tyler Johnson Was Here by J. Coles. So this book is very reminiscent of The Hate You Give, and it focuses on Marvin and his twin brother Tyler. Tyler decides to go to a party and Marvin tags along to keep an eye on him. The next morning, Marvin finds out that after things went haywire at the party, that his brother Tyler was shot and killed by a police officer, and now his brother is like a hashtag, and I think it's just gonna focus on like the aftermath of his brother's death, and it's a commentary on race relations in America. I remember hearing like some things about this book when it first came out. It's been on my shelf for a very long time, which is one of the reasons that I think I want to pick it up and try to get it read. So this is what I'm going to go with. Yeah, I'll check back in with you guys maybe before I go to sleep or something. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I wanted to hop on here and give a little update. I literally just walked in the door from getting home from work, so I still have my work clothes on and everything, but I feel like it's been a couple days since I updated, and I have been doing some reading. So I finished Tyler Johnson Was Here by J. Coles, and I ended up giving this book 5 out of 5 stars. This was an extremely heavy book, but I think that it was a very important book, and I'm glad that I read it. It reminded me a lot of The Hate You Give, but I feel like this book in particular focused more on gang violence and race relations, whereas The Hate You Give focused more on Star's decision if she was going to speak up and take control of the situation. So I really enjoyed this book. It made me cry. It was very emotional and very heavy. So I knew that after I read this, I needed to pick up something light. So the next book that I've been working my way through is I Love You So Mochi by Kuhn. I am 65 pages in. This is a YA contemporary, and it seems like it's really fluffy. The cover is super cute. It's about a girl who's really into fashion, and her mom is an artist and wants her to be an artist, but like I said, she's very into fashion. She's not into traditional art and painting, and when her mom finds out that she has not been painting and keeping up with her artwork, the main character, Kimmy, gets sent to stay with her grandparents in Japan for spring break, and she falls in love with a mascot at a Mochi stand. So it's really adorable so far. I've already laughed a bunch of times. It's just quirky and cute and awkward. I'm really liking it. It was much needed after being in such a heavy book, so I am going to continue reading this. I don't know if I'm going to read any tonight. I kind of have a headache. I've been binge watching some TV shows, and I kind of want to go do that, but maybe I'm thinking about making a snack and then sitting and reading this for a little bit, so I will update you guys later. If not today, then tomorrow. Hey guys, it is Friday now, and I honestly have not read anything for the rest of the week. What is going on in my background? I don't know. I just got home from work. It was a super long day. I had training in the morning and then another meeting in the afternoon, and I have to work at my second job tonight, which I don't want to do, but I'm also kind of excited about because it is the symphony playing the soundtrack to Harry Potter while the movie plays, and I'm really excited to watch that, so I'm gonna watch. Yeah, I just have not really been reading the rest of the week. I haven't been feeling the greatest this week, which, I mean, I never feel good, so I feel like that's a pretty lame excuse, but I was even thinking that I wanted to come home and read a bit before I went to work this evening, but now I have a migraine. So I don't know. I'm going to take a shower because I feel disgusting, and maybe sitting and reading and doing a face mask or something will help me relax a little bit before I have to go into work. I was going to wrap up the whole vlog tonight, but since I haven't really been reading, I do want to try to finish at least I Love You So Mochi. this weekend, so I'll probably extend the vlog through the weekend and then give you guys my final thoughts and wrap-ups. So I am going to go change and take a shower, and I'll check back in with you guys soon. Hello bookworms, I'm Becca. Today is Sunday, which means it is the final day for my round of hashtag clear the shelves. I read 2 books and almost a third, and we'll get to that later. I feel like overall this has been more successful than January. I feel like I put a little bit more effort into it, and I'm excited to watch the series grow over the year. So with that being said, let's get into the books that I read this week. The first book that I read this week is With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is a young adult book, like I talked about, that focuses on our main character, Imani, who is a teen mom. She lives with her grandma. She's juggling school and work and being a parent, and she has aspirations of becoming a chef. And she's very good. She's gifted with cooking. People have said that her cooking is a life-changing experience. When Imani's school begins offering a culinary arts class, she knows that she has to take it. The cool thing about this class is that they have the opportunity to study abroad for a week in Spain, and Imani has to kind of figure out how she's going to juggle all of that added on to everything else that she's dealing with in her life, and where she's going to go after graduation, like where her life is going to take her. This book was so good. I gave it 4 out of 4 stars. 4 out of 4? I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I know I talked about this earlier. I want to talk a little bit more about my thoughts on it. I loved Imani as a character, and I just loved her family and friend group and how supportive they all are of her. It was really interesting. Her love interest was really supportive as well, and it was just kind of interesting to see how this book unfolded, and I'm glad that I stuck with it, because in the beginning, I have to be honest, I was not loving it. So I'm glad that I stuck with it to the end, because I did end up loving this book a lot more than I thought I was going to. It made me so hungry though, so be warned, if you're going to read this book, don't do it on an empty stomach, because it made me want to eat really amazing food. So there's that. The second book that I read this week is Tyler Johnson Was Here by J. Coles. I feel like I didn't talk as much about this one because it was very heavy. I don't remember what star rating I gave it, either 4 or 5 stars. I liked it a lot. I thought that it's a very important book to read, but it's also an extremely heavy book to read. So I definitely needed to cleanse my palate after reading this one. So like I have talked about before, this is about a boy named Marvin who goes to a party with his twin brother and finds out later that his twin brother Tyler was shot and killed by a white police officer, and it's all about gang violence and race relations in the United States. I thought it was very, very, very well written. It's obviously a very timely book. I don't think that this one is going to go out of style too quickly. I do wish that it was getting more recognition than it is. I know that The Hate U Give gets a lot of recognition, and it's a very well written book as well, but I like how the story had a different take on it and focused more on gang violence and race relations. There are some very, very graphic scenes in this book. There are some definite content warnings for this book that I will leave below in the description if you're interested in that, but I breezed through this. I read it all in one sitting. I was completely captivated from start to end. It is only 296 pages, so it was a fairly quick read. I'm glad that I read it. It's been on my shelf for forever, and I'm glad that I finally picked it up, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. So after Tyler Johnson Was Here, I needed a palette cleanser, like I said. So I decided to go with I Love You So Mochi by Kuhn, and I have not finished this one yet. I began it on Wednesday, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday, and I just wasn't feeling great the rest of the week. It was a weird week, so I didn't read that much of it. I have a little over 100 pages left, but it's getting late and I want to get this vlog edited and uploaded tomorrow, hopefully. So I just wanted to film this little last closing out part, but I will talk about my thoughts so far, and I'm loving this book. It is so heckin' cute. I'm obsessed with it. We focus on our main character, Kimmy, who is Japanese American, and she is really into fashion and designing clothes that she calls Kimmy Originals. Her mom is a more typical artist. She's a painter, and she dreams of Kimmy becoming a big painter as well. But obviously Kimmy has other dreams, and when her mom finds out about her fashion, she decides to send Kimmy to stay with her grandparents for spring break in Kyoto, Japan. And while she is there, she is learning a lot about her grandparents, because her grandparents and her mom are kind of estranged. So she's only heard her mom's side of the story, and now she's getting to piece together her grandparents' side. She's bonding with her grandparents a lot. She's falling in love with a cute boy. It's so fluffy and just what I needed. I think that if you like the book Love and Gelato in that series, or like Anna and the French Kiss, or you know, something along those lines, even the like fluffy romances like To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han series, then you would really enjoy this one. It is so cute, and I hope that more people read it, because I haven't heard very many people talk about it, and I am just breezing right through it. Like I said, I only have a little over 100 pages left, and I've read the majority of it today. I just sat down, just breezed right through it. I'm totally invested in this story, and I can't wait to see how it happens. And if you guys follow me on Goodreads, then you'll get to see my final rating for this book. So stay tuned for that. So those are the books that I read this week. I am really happy with how this whole vlog and how this week went. I do feel like I pressured myself a little bit, but in the end, I don't think that I pushed myself too hard. Obviously, if I would have been pushing myself harder, I would have like pushed myself to finish I Love You So Mochi and then like close out the vlog and probably never edited it. So I'm really proud that like I'm doing this and that I'm moving forward with the series, because I think that it's an interesting series, and like I said, I'm interested in seeing how it's going to develop over the course of the year. I can't wait to see how many books I'm going to read this year, because I'm already 2 books ahead of schedule on my Goodreads goal. So yay for me. I'm getting those books read off my shelf, which is the main point of this challenge that I'm giving myself. So there's that. I hope you guys like this series. Tune in next month to see what books I'm going to be reading. I don't know yet, because it's all depends on what I pull out of the jar. I'm thinking about next month possibly creating a TBR for myself to stick to roughly, but again, it depends on what prompt I pull out of the jar. So yeah, that's all I got to say about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below to see more bookish videos. That's all I got for you guys today, and I will see you next time. Bye!